Will you just kind of share with everyone what's happening and what this Nexus ecosystem is doing?
Yeah, thank you, Chad. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach today. As I start to look at what's going on with the blockchain and cryptocurrency, first of all, I'm going to want to really explain a little bit about what makes the blockchain special. Why are we so excited about it? Why are they talking about Bitcoin going to as much as $1 million or $2 million a coin? What's the value behind this magic internet money where somebody sat down and wrote some code and all of a sudden created it? So there's two things. There's cryptocurrency and then there's the blockchain. The blockchain is the underlying technology that is actually going to create all the value that's out there. So we all know that the way that wealth is created, the way that opportunity is created, is that somebody comes up with tools, product, whatever it is, that fixes existing problems, right? And then you're able to. So the internet brought us all closer together, right? Today, I believe the Amazon man's been to our house 4 times today, right? So this is something where we don't have to go to the store anymore. We don't have to forget anything, right? We're at the store, we get back from the store. Oh, we forgot this. We can jump on Amazon, order it, and within, a short period of time, it's at my door. And for most people, there was no seeing this 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But there are innovators out there, people like Jeff Bezos and some of the other innovators that were in the space that looked at it, the Elon Musk. I mean, why is Elon Musk as wealthy as he is and as successful as he is? Because he doesn't see today, he sees 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, right? So when he started PayPal, there were the credit card companies and there were the credit card companies. He said, no, there can be a new way of doing this. And he innovated there. When it came to, and you look at it today and you go, okay, lots of people are in the space race. But when he got into the space race, there was NASA. There were countries that did space projects. He looked at it and said, why couldn't a company? Why couldn't that be something that people could do, as well as with electric cars, right? I'm sure that there's lots of people that said, hey, we need to do an electric car, but they said, well, nobody has plugs in their house. How are you going to drive? You can't drive that far. They came up with all the reasons not to get involved with it. These are innovations that are changing the world, right? Improving certain situations that are out there. The blockchain is that current innovation. So there's 2 parts. So there's the blockchain, and then there's the metaverse, okay? These are 2 things that are going to change our world over the next 8 years or so. As a matter of fact, Citibank, GPS, did a report. And in this report, they looked at how big the metaverse has the potential to be. And they're estimating between $8 and $13 trillion in the next 8 years. Jamie Dimon, he happens to be the CEO of JP Morgan Chase Bank, is talking about in the next few years, the metaverse will be $1 trillion a year in revenue. These are staggering numbers, and this is unbelievable. And I got to tell you, it's really exciting that Elon Musk is worth a few $100 million and he can buy Twitter and he can do all this crazy stuff. It's great that, Jeff Bezos probably owns 7 houses. His wife can give away billions of dollars. But really, at the end of the day, we utilize those services and we do it, right? Because I didn't have the innovation to say, wait a minute, in 1995, everybody's going to shop online and I should get into it and start a company and name it after a river, right? So, I just didn't have that thought at that time in that process. And that's the reason why most of us never become wealthy, because we can't see the future, okay? So part of the Nexus system that we put together is we are looking at those technologies, we are looking at those, and we're partnering with the people who can see the future, okay? One of those people that we partnered with is a gentleman named Brian Schuster. Brian started a company 17 years ago about Web 3.0, this idea of some type of a online virtual world type situation. Okay. And here's the key. He invested in it. He invested in it. He filed for patents. He filed for this stuff. And it was a very tough road because the world wasn't ready for it yet. And then about 6 months ago or so, and I don't know the exact date, I believe it was at the beginning of this year, some company called Facebook decided to change their name to Meta. And the reason why is because they began to believe and understand that the metaverse was the future. They looked at it and said, wait a minute, this could be an $8 to $13 trillion. They did their homework. They did everything to decide, because you don't change your name unless you're pretty convinced that something is going to be a major impact out there, right? You would never do it, especially with a company like Facebook in that direction there. So they changed their name because they see the future of the metaverse. Now, I got to tell you, Mark Zuckerberg, he's innovative, right? He saw social media before social media started, but he didn't start in the metaverse 15, 17 years ago. He started a few years ago when he bought Oculus, and they began to say, hey, there's something here. The founder of Otherverse saw it a while ago. Now, why is that important with the Nexus ecosystem? Because most of us would have never had a chance to meet the founder and have that founder say, you know what, you guys have some skills and ability that we need in order to take our project further down the road, launch our token, do our FNFTs. So this is what we want to do. We want to partner with you guys because you have knowledge that we want. And so now we're involved with Otherverse. When I say we, I'm not talking about me as a person. I'm not talking about our team. I'm talking about True Badger as a complete unit and a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. So when Brian Schuster said, can you help us? Can you get involved with us? Can you bring us on board and help us do this? He didn't say it to Peter Gantner. He said it to the Nexus ecosystem, True Badger, and our network of projects that we're working on. And the cool thing is here is you don't have to be part of a special club. You don't need to be a gazillionaire. You don't need to, be somebody's cousin's uncle, brother, whatever it is. How do you get involved with an innovator, somebody who saw something 17 years before most of the world even knew it existed? How do you do that? You purchase True Badger tokens. You become part of the Nexus ecosystem. You join with a community of people. So 6 years ago, I was sitting there on a plane and I said, I got it. Community is commerce. So, and if you can bring a community together and that community can work in concert with each other for a very narrow purpose. And let's say that purpose was to help improve the financial the financial situation for every single person in that community. So if I said, what does Nexus stand for? Nexus stands for improving the financial situation of every single person that's involved in all the projects that Nexus ecosystem touches and is a part of, okay? So it's kind of like, if you look at it, Nexus is being Bill Gates's college roommate, right? It's knowing somebody, it's having the last name Bezos, that you're not Jeff, but you have the last name Bezos, and he comes to you and says, brother, whatever, family member, you should put money in this. I've got this phenomenal, fantastic idea, and I am going to revolutionize the world. And on, May 19th, 2022, the Gantners are going to have 4 packages delivered to their house, and all 4 of them are going to come from my service, my business, and that is going to create $1 trillion worth of wealth. The reason why most of us are not wealthy is because in order to be part of that, by the way, when Jeff said, hey, by the way, you needed to have $50,000 to get involved with Jeff, right? Most people wouldn't have been able to take that risk. They didn't have that much money. You can't have $50,000 and get in a $50,000 thing, because that would be all the money you have, right? You'd be like, no way, I can't do that, right? So you'd have to have what? Millions of dollars in order to write a check for $50,000 to say, hey, I want to be I want to be involved in this. I want to be a part of that. And for most of us, that opportunity does not exist. So we talked, and I mentioned the blockchain, and I got to get back to the blockchain and the technology there very quickly, because I told you I would explain it to you. Okay. So I got off on another trail there, but I'm back to this point right here. The blockchain is really simple, guys. It's immutable. It's got high security. It's technology that simply says that data, information is captured on a blockchain. It's decentralized, meaning there's not one authority that says this is accurate information. So part of the problem in our world today is there's one person who has access to your banking account, to your title to your car. And I'm not saying this to scare you, because most of the time nothing happens, right? They're titled to your house. There's one person who can log in and go, oh, let me change that information. And now the record is permanently changed in that situation, right? And then you go to say, hey, this is mine. They go, no, here it says it's somebody else's, right? On the blockchain, that doesn't and cannot happen. And the reason why is the information, that record that says you're the owner of, whether it's a cryptocurrency or whether it's a title to a vehicle or whether it's an NFT, it sits on thousands, tens of thousands of computers. And those computers need to come to a consensus to say whether that information is accurate. So in order for somebody to change it, they would have to do what? Access 51%, the majority of all of those systems, and change the record there, because when the next block is created, these are blocks of data. The first Genesis block has the information in it. The second Genesis block, the second block has all the block from the first information and all the new information, and so on and so on and so on, all the way down the line. So you can see a clear pathway of accurate, immutable information. Okay. This is the value of the blockchain. I was actually blown away. I was reading an article, and you drive through a city and you'll be like in a nice area, and there's one property that's run down, beat up, nobody's taking care of it. And in my mind, it's like, I don't understand, why doesn't somebody just buy that property and fix it up? And I mean, it's literally in a prime location. And the reason why they don't is because most of those properties are because there's confusion on who is the owner of it. So there's nobody to fix it up. There's nobody who can sell it to somebody who fix it up, because there was a problem in the titling, in the ownership of that. Now I didn't know this until I started reading these articles, because again, maybe it was a clerical error. Maybe somebody purposely changed it. Maybe somebody lost a piece of paper in the process of being able to do this. And so the blockchain will fix that stuff. Another woman that I listened to, she talked about, why is the blockchain going to be so big? Because the blockchain leads to Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is going to solve all the problems that are plaguing Web 2.0 right now. Security, anonymity, fraud, a lot of those types of things are going to be solved in the blockchain as it continues to develop and move forward. So, I look at it and go, why didn't I engage more into the web when the web was going, right? I wasn't a tech person. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have friends that were in the tech space that could say, hey, Peter, we're launching this company called, Priceline.com. I got to meet Jeff Hoffman, one of the founders of Priceline.com, a little bit later on, but it was after he had already founded it. So if I would have met him earlier, maybe he would have said, hey, Peter, you should put your money in Priceline.com and you can get involved with me and you can earn some stock and you can be a part of it and you can go from there. But most of us don't have that opportunity, and most of us don't have the ability to take those type of risks. And so how does that lead to the blockchain? So we've got this technology that is immutable, it's accurate. I don't have to trust a person is going to have the right information, because a system has the right information and it can't be hacked, right? At this point, it's never been hacked. None of the chains have that have been built properly. They're secure, they're safe, and they're ready to go. So how does this affect all of us? Well, again, we went through titling. Do you guys know that Walmart right now uses the blockchain for all its food safety? Major corporations. IBM has built an entire division of blockchain, a blockchain group that's doing it. The biggest consulting firm in the world right now has hundreds of people working on blockchain and cryptocurrency type of things. So the blockchain is the technology, the cryptocurrency is the representation of the value of that blockchain. So the blockchain does things that solve problems. And then the cryptocurrency says that represents the value of that solving of that problem that's there. So this is, and guys, this will affect, if I'm sitting here right now and it's 1995 and I came on, well, I couldn't come on because this didn't exist, right? You couldn't do Zooms in 1995 because they didn't exist because the web had not developed in the way that it had today. But I got to tell you, in 1995, the web wasn't the web that it is today. Somebody finally invented a browser. Somebody finally invented search. Somebody finally came up with what's called the sharing economy. You know, Amazon went from books to delivering food and everything else that's out there. So all of this stuff has the process. Now you can get involved in the internet today and you can make some money, right? There's still good companies that are starting that you can maybe get involved with and be a part of, but nothing like the mid 90s all the way up until, you know, the crash and then the rebuild. And that was the beautiful part about it. Do you guys know there were two chances for people to get into the internet and make a fortune? There was the start of it. And then there was after there was the correction, the bubble popped. And then there were a lot of people who said, wait a minute, that bubble popping was just an adjustment. This web thing is here to stay forever. It's going to change the world, right? The Gantlers are going to have 4 packages delivered to their house. And so I'm going to go in, and everybody else is dumping and getting out of this stuff, but I'm going to jump into it and I'm going to start a company and I'm going to build and I'm going to grow and I'm going to go from there. And so I believe that this is, and it's not just me, this is the biggest opportunity in human history right now for wealth transfer, for wealth to go from where it is right now. And that is a lot of it with central authorities, central companies. So that's one of the sides I mentioned about the blockchain. The blockchain is decentralized. There's no central authority. A lot of the things that we pay for today and that we do will be much different down the road. I mean, right now, if you're buying a home, you're going to do what? A title search, right? And you're going to pay several $100s for someone to do a title search. They're going to go out and they're going to make sure there's no liens against it. And they're going to make sure that it's a clear title. And they're going to charge you hundreds of dollars for that. Once real estate over the next 5, 10 years or whatever goes on the blockchain, you won't have to pay somebody hundreds of dollars to do it because the title will be stored on the blockchain and it'll get transferred to you automatically, immediately. Anybody could log in there and see the transactions and know whether there's a lien or not against this property. And so that's one of the areas where it's going to make a huge difference out in the world. And that's just the beginning of where it is. It's evident that the blockchain and the metaverse is going to touch every single industry that exists today. The entertainment industry, the automobile industry, the medical industry, the healthcare industry, all of those industries are going to be affected by blockchain and the metaverse. And the Nexus ecosystem is a doorway into the blockchain for everyday people and the metaverse in a huge way. And we understand that a community of people working together for a common goal can accomplish more than any one person by themselves. I will tell you that most people that wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to get into cryptocurrency, and they decide to do it themselves, will end up losing money in the crypto space. They will. There's too much. They won't be able to keep up. They won't be able to understand it as all the time. Unless it's going to be like full-time, 18 hours a day, they're going to end up, and will be some people that get lucky and they get in one project and it blows up and it's like, I'm the genius, right? But as far as being able to get in this space and do what is necessary in order to capture this huge movement, right? The largest shift in human history of finances, okay? More money shifting from centralized to other places, okay? Wealth being created at a rate that wealth has never been created before. Businesses being built and launched that go to amazing value, even higher and bigger than the entire .com days. Right there in front of us, right? Right in front of us. It's there. All you have to do is find the right vehicle for you to be able to get involved in the best way possible that will give you not 100% chance, of making it, but the absolute best chance possible. And I believe that's with community. I believe that's getting together with the right group of people and having that right group of people together, collective intelligence, collective energy, right? Collective networking, the whole collective of things, right? How did we get to Otherverse? We knew somebody who introduced us to somebody who introduced us to somebody else who said, hey, we're working on this project called Otherverse. You should get involved with it. Boom. We met with them. We put the deal together and we made it all happen. It was through the network. It was through knowing the right people who knew the right people who knew the right people who now were involved in what I believe at this point. And it's not just belief in, wishing. It's a belief on looking at the technology that's in place. It's a belief that's in looking at what everybody else is doing that you can see right now in the metaverse and what we can see what Otherverse is doing. My belief is that it will be the number one player in an $8 to $13 trillion marketplace. I mean, think about that, right? Just think about the number one player in any industry. I don't care if it's, even a smaller industry, the number one player, right, is a big deal, right? It's a big place to be. And because of our network, because of the community that we've built and put together, we ended up with access to that project. And we will have access to many more. We're working on some green energy projects with people that are involved in the project that have nearly 100 million people in their social media feeds alone, right? On that side of it. We're working on a project called Stardom Chance. Stardom Chance's goal is to democratize Hollywood, to give people opportunities that want to be in film and that want to, make it in that space, whether it's as an actor or somebody who just wants to be a director or a producer or, maybe write the score for the movie and that type of stuff. But they live in, small town Iowa and they don't have the opportunity because they just can't pick up and move to Hollywood to see if they can make it in the film industry. So the great thing about it is we looked at it and said, wait, we don't need to just democratize the film industry. We need to decentralize and democratize it. And that's where we're bringing the blockchain and cryptocurrency to this side of it. And it is going to revolutionize and change the film industry, just like every single industry out there. And so you're like, man, this sounds really good, but, where's the whammy going to come? Where's the, hey, I got to hide my wallet because it's going to, I know these guys are going to say it's going to cost $1,000 to get involved in this Nexus ecosystem and to be a part of it. Guys, this community is free to join. We don't have a fee to join it. It's but saying, I want to be part of it. I want to learn crypto. I want to understand the blockchain. I want to be able to have an opportunity to get involved in projects. So I'd like to see if there's a way for me to get in Otherverse. How do you do it? Become part of the Nexus ecosystem. How do you become part of the Nexus ecosystem? You get a wallet, you get signed up. And if you want to, you can say, you know what? This True Badger thing's pretty good. They're doing some stuff with this Otherverse. Maybe I want to acquire some of their digital asset, which is the True Badger token. Or maybe you want to acquire some NSI tokens, which is another one of our projects that we're working on, which is decentralized trading in it. But there is no fee. As a matter of fact, we're going to spend money for you to join the Nexus ecosystem. Why are we going to do that? Because we have an onboarding system where we have it to where a live person will walk you through getting your wallet, getting you set up in crypto, whatever it is that you need help with. And we don't charge any money for that. We believe that a community of people that come together for a narrow common purpose, which is the financial benefit of everybody that's involved with it, that in itself will create so much value that we don't have to charge you anything to be part of the Nexus ecosystem. It's why we're attracting people like Chad and Jody, which you'll probably get a chance to meet, and Dr. Clark. These amazing people are coming to this and saying, you know what? I want to be a part of this. And by being part of it, because we are a community of people, we leverage those collective talents, collective energy, collective intelligence, all of this stuff that we've probably all been missing, right? It's networking. It's we've all heard it, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, how do you ever get, I've always heard, I read the books, you need to find a mentor. I'm looking around going, hey, I need a mentor. And all the people are going, I'm too busy to be your mentor, right? So it's these type of things where most of us do not have the opportunity to be in the right place. Another great saying right there, right? You need to be in the right place at the right time. Well, how the hell do you find the right place? How do you find the right time? Is it all luck? In most situations, yes, it is. But there are situations where people put themselves in the right place at the right time because they understand the power of community. They understand the power of a network. They understand in creating value for someone else and then receiving value back over time. These are concepts in which we've included in the Nexus ecosystem to build one of the most powerful movements in the entire blockchain, cryptocurrency, and metaverse space. We have lots of videos, guys, where I walk through what True Badger is and what all these other ones are. And you could go back and watch those. The idea is the concept. Is Nexus ecosystem a concept that can revolutionize an industry, bring in tens of thousands, millions of people, and help them accomplish the goal that it is, and that is for them to improve their lives by working together in a community way, right? And creating this synergy and this energy. We've started what's called the NAC. It's the Nexus Action Committee. It's a group of 50 individuals that have volunteered to help drive our project, move it forward, to keep the community and the lead team connected together for us to create amazing, fantastic results out in the marketplace. Our goal is to create $1 trillion in wealth over the next 5 to 8 years. That $1 trillion will not be in my banking account. It'll be in everybody's across the board as we continue to build and grow this thing and make it happen. That is our goal. Whether we reach it or not, I don't know, but it's a pretty dang good goal to try and shoot for, right? And even if we get close halfway there, imagine the wealth that we would have created throughout this process in doing this, and also the value we would have created for society by bringing forward projects like Otherverse, like Stardom. Think about the first time we're helping support the Stardom movement and they make their first film and it comes out and here's this low budget film that gets nominated for an Academy Award, and we were part of helping make that happen. Think about the pride you'd have, the excitement that you would have. One of my friends did one of the horror movies, okay? So they produced that movie and it produced over $100 million in revenue. It was made for less than $1 million, but for Cabin Fever made for less than $1 million. It produced over $100 million in initial revenue. It was a home run. Imagine being able to sit there, and he used it as his calling card, right? It's like, hey, I'm one of the people that did Cabin Fever, right? And people pay attention because they've heard the stories and they've heard that stuff there. Most of us in our life will never have a chance to be part of something gigantically huge, but there's a simple and easy path to get there. It's called the Nexus ecosystem. It is free to join, and you're going to get to hang out with and work with some of the best people in the world and people that do care about their impact on the world every single day. Chad?
Man, you're just tearing it up tonight, Peter. And I think I had a revelation. I got to make sure I got this right. And from everything you said, so centralized, when I think of centralized, I think of very few seats at the table. I think of a few select people that get all the money, get all the power, get all the stuff. And the rest of the little guys like me, we get the droppings, we get the leftovers, we get the scraps. So The more we decentralize things, the more we level the playing field. And so I think all of us, no matter if people are in crypto or not, we should be wanting and looking for and finding ways to participate in a decentralized world where we get a seat at the table. And I think it's something like Stardom Chance, where we actually can participate with the making of a movie, the launching of a movie, voting on what's happening with the movie, and all these different types of things, which for someone who's a movie lover like me is very, very exciting. And I know we've got the movies, and I know we have the green energy, and I know we have the metaverse, And when I think of the metaverse and the centralized, back in the day, it was, we got all of our advertising from television ads and newspaper ads. And then we kind of went to social media. Most of the marketing's done on social media now. So metaverse just seems to be the very next progression that's going to happen with marketing, with advertising. So Peter, would you say that the more we decentralize, the more people have the chance to win?
Decentralization means more opportunity for more people, right? Because again, in this world, we pay people a lot of money if they can set up a system that we can trust, right? Decentralization is trusted in nature, right? You don't have to trust a person. It's the technology that's doing it. So now there's more opportunity. So lower costs and more opportunity for more people in the marketplace. So, we've all done it before. Come on, one of the magazines comes up with the average salary of an investment banker in Wall Street, and you go read it and you're like, oh my God, $742,000. Like what, or millions of dollars that these people are getting from their bonuses every year, the analysis, these other people like that. We've all done that before. And we're like, man, I wish I could be that person. But really what we wish is that that person wasn't there and that there was a way to do that job without them. And then we could save some money on the transaction in the first place. And then we could get a piece of that because we helped build the network that then is securing that in place, right? So these validators, these people, this consensus, that's the reason why, because that consensus says, yes, this is accurate information. And there's a fee paid for that transaction. That transaction fee then goes out to the people who are running and that are securing the network. It is a perfect way of doing it. I do not believe in a completely decentralized world, but I got to tell you right now, 99% of the world is centralized. I believe there's a blending that will take place but the more decentralized we become, as Chad was getting to the point, is the more decentralized we become, the more opportunity there is for you, for your kids, for your grandkids, and for our future generations. And I believe it's a better world we live in when we begin to decentralize things and move them in that direction. And that's why we're passionate about what we're doing on the blockchain and with cryptocurrency. It's not just about making money. It's about making this a better. So 6 years ago, I got on the phone with a group of people and I said, guys, I want to leave this planet better than when I got here. Okay. So better than the day I was born. I grew up where if you borrow somebody's car, you put more gas in it than when you took it. You clean it, right? If you stay at somebody's house, you clean up after yourself, right? Any of that type of stuff. And if you go into an area and you're going to have, let's say, a party at a park, you leave it cleaner than when you got here. That's just who I am. And that's how that's my life, right? And I want to do that to the whole planet. And I thought, well, it'd be pretty hard for me to do it myself. And I thought, why not get a community of people to buy into it? And we started to talk to people about this. This was over 6 years ago. Can we leave this place better than when we got here? I believe decentralization is one of the keys to being able to do that. And you can as well leave this better than where we got here. How? By getting involved in the blockchain cryptocurrency space, supporting decentralized applications and us moving in that direction.
So awesome. Peter, once again, thank you for all your wisdom and just jumping on here and all you do to help everybody within the Nexus community. And I know you're out there working hard on vetting all the different projects and making sure that everybody that comes in with a project, it's going to be a safe project and the place that we can park our money and just watch it grow. And I'm having a blast with it. And I thank you for getting on here today for sure. And anybody that's watching, make sure that you get back to the person who invited you here and just let them know too, if they have questions, they can come on to the True Badger help desk and they can talk to a person on a Zoom that'll walk them through, answer all their questions. They don't have to pay anything for that. And we're going to be back here again next Thursday at the same time. So bring a friend, bring your family, bring your parents, bring anybody that you care about that you want to be able to invest in and go along this ride with you.